Hey everybody, welcome back once again. So there's more Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis information today. And I think I mentioned this in my last video, but this is a game I would have started years and years ago if it was released in North America when it was originally intended to be. But very much since it's getting a visual upgrade, old Phantasy Star Online 2, and then we get New Genesis, I'm just kind of biding my time until it releases in its current form. But very curious to see more about it. I think it looks like a lot of fun. It looks a lot different from the other MMO I'm currently playing, Final Fantasy 14. And I've always liked the concept of Phantasy Star, its various races and the world it inhabits, or the universe it inhabits. Sorry. But anyway, let's get to it.
Sections.
Okay.
In previously shown information, we stated that the open field will have up to 8 players.
Holy crap, look at all this stuff going on.
That was the case for the combat sections. But in the exploration sections, a total of up to 32 players can play together at once. Exploration sections allow for gathering materials, finding new locations, hunting for certain enemies, and so on, allowing you to explore the area, which is why there are less enemy encounters than the combat section.
Gotcha.
But there are special enemies that only appear in exploration sections. One type of those enemies are the
and the thing I love about MMOs is I love just seeing other people running to and fro doing their own thing.
That appears normally and pose as a boss of the area.
So the more people that you can see doing that,
and strength are increased, so avoid fighting them until you're higher
Damn.
level. There are also gigantics that appear under very specific conditions. They have much higher levels than the dread enemies and end up leaving after a set time. So working together with other players is absolutely necessary.
Especially just given all the characters' different levels of mobility and all the attacks. Wow, this is going to be busy.
You feel confident against the big ones, huh?
Good thing the enemies are so huge. They're easy to keep track of with everything that's going on. Dude.
And that's the introduction.
Weapon types?
The hunter weapon. The partisan is a naginata-like weapon.
One of my favorite types of weapons. Ooh, throws like a javelin at the end there too. Love the over-the-topness of all these abilities.
Learning the class skill Volcrafter allows you to hold down the button
and
unleash spears of photon which accumulate damage. These photon spears explode either by waiting some time or by inflicting a set amount of damage.
I've always been so partial to spear types, but then I like martial arts types too, and axe types. I just like all that shit.
Another weapon for hunters, Wired Lance, has the largest area of normal attack for hunter weapons. This weapon, like the assault rifle, will inflict more damage by attacking at the correct
That's badass, man.
which makes it unique. By using the weapon action Wired Anchor, you can close in on enemies, so it may be interesting to see how you can combine this with other weapons via multi-weapons.
Wow. That's really cool because it very much has me thinking of kind of like a monk type combat with gauntlets, but obviously there's wires on them and you can throw them at distance, and that's lit. Damn.
The ranger weapon, launchers, take a bit to unleash an attack. Since you can use
I'm very
your
tempted to go
normal attacks
cast
while
in
on
this
the
game.
move,
They look pretty damn
You
cool.
can mitigate the time it takes to attack in the combat by playing correctly. Using
I just like the idea of
action,
playing an MMO
Sticky
as a
Bomb
mech
will
type
attach
character.
A bomb that will detonate in a set amount of time at the enemy. Although the explosion doesn't do much damage, it's useful for restoring PP. Mix them up
like a
with
mortar
photon
blast
arcs
there.
to combat enemies effectively. The fighter weapon, Twin Daggers, are a close-range weapon with high
Figured there'd be something
mobility
like this.
mid-air.
Holy cow. Barely have time to process their movements. They're going so fast.
A certain class skill will allow you to attack propelling forward after normal attacking at a specific timing after a PA. This allows you to readjust positioning during a fight. The weapon action dagger spin
everything's
allows
pretty
you
damn
to
cool so
guard
far,
and
though.
move in emergencies. Another fighter weapon, The double saber can hit multiple times in a short
Oh,
span.
nice. Dual,
Using a PA
dual-bladed
will
lightsaber,
activate a
essentially.
whirlwind, which strengthens as you hit enemies.
I do like the
The weapon
lean-looking
action
cast
saber parry
as well.
works like
I like the
wand
bulky
parry
types too.
and
Decisions.
is useful for blocking enemy attacks.
Throwing it around, spinning, nice. Reminds me of a similar move
Class
from
skills such as Deadly
Knights of the Old
Archer
Republic
will allow
MMO.
you to unleash the Deadly Archer attack by holding down the weapon action button once the whirlwind state is at its second strength. The Talus for forces and tectors unleash techniques like the rod and wand can, but spreading the Talus to your surrounding will allow you to use a technique with effects differently than usual. The way the Talus works changes depending on the PA, so choosing the right PA for the situation allows for effective combat. Learning the class skill Talus Bloom Revoke and holding down the weapon action allows the Talus
Looks
to
interesting, but I've never
quickly.
been really a mage type. I always like to get in the
weapon
thick of the
action
fight generally
Talus
with a,
allows you to
with a
place
melee DPS.
Taluses without the use of a PA and can recover PP without having to perform normal attacks.
Rewatch some of this a little bit.
She's just plain.
In previously shown information,
Yeah, loving the open
which stated
fields that this
open
game
field
possesses.
will have for
And I know the
combat
fields
sections,
aren't always
but
going to
in
be
the
this busy because it seems like they obviously have a lot of
total
people
of
in
up to
one
32
specific
players
area,
can
but
play
I
together
just
at
love
once.
seeing this type of thing in an MMO.
Exploration section and so on.
Yeah, we'll
allow
see.
you
Obviously,
to
gathering new
explore the
materials if
area,
that's meant for
which is why there
crafting
are
classes.
less
I'm not
enemy
even sure this game
encounters
has
than the
crafting
combat
classes and
section.
something I'm
But
familiar with.
there are special
It's
enemies
always
that
something I
only
get into so
appear
much
in
later
exploration
in
sections.
MMOs. I'm always so
One type
obsessed
of
with
those enemies
getting
are
equipment
the
or going
dread
through the
enemies
story or
that are
exploring
powerful,
first. Crafting is
higher-level
always so
variants
secondary.
of the same that appear
In Final Fantasy
normally
XIV, all I do is
and pose
mine
as
pretty
a
much at this
boss of
point.
the area. Their HP. There are
Looks like a
also
lot of fun, though,
Gigantics
fighting
that
these world
appear under
bosses.
very specific conditions. They have much higher levels than the dread enemies, and
Yeah, man, this one is one of my favorites, I would say. I have no friggin' clue which class I'm going to pick at this point. If you have any recommendations in terms of your favorites, knowing that I like melee DPS, definitely
and
give
unleash
me
spears
a
of
shout.
photon, which accumulate hunters. Wired lance has the largest area
That's
of
so
normal
cool.
attack for hunter weapons. This weapon,
And
like
unique
the
as
assault
well. It's not
rifle,
something I'm used
will
to seeing,
inflict more
particularly in the
damage by
MMOs.
attacking at the correct range, which makes it unique.
Okay. So it looks like a super
By using
complicated
the
weapon to
action
use,
wired
and they're
anchor,
reflecting that
you can
in the game
close in
design.
on
I really
enemies,
like that.
So it may be interesting. Weapon launchers take a bit to unleash an attack, but can dish out wide-ranged and powerful explosions, making it a unique weapon.
Obviously, they have to do something with the animations, but I love how he's just break-dancing, essentially, between shots from this thing.
Since it will detonate in a set amount of
I'm
time at the
curious
enemy.
about this weapon. It's not something
Although
that I
the
would usually
explosion
gravitate
doesn't do
towards,
much
but I
damage,
am interested.
It's useful for restoring PP. Mix them up with photon arts to combat enemies effectively.
It fits with the fact this is a buff cast.
The fighter
character,
weapon,
too.
twin daggers, are a close-range
This is another
weapon
one that looks
with
cool.
high
And I was thinking very much of Final
mobility
Fantasy
mid-air.
XIV. If I'd made a new character, it would be a ninja type character. So this is also appealing.
High mobility combat whirlwind, which strengthens as you hit enemies.
Nice.
The weapon action saber parry works like the wand parry. And
Once
is
again,
useful
great
for blocking
acrobatics.
enemy attack.
I'm really excited for this
Unleash
game. I know
deadly
so
archer
little
attack
about
by
Phantasy
holding
Star
down the
in
weapon
general.
action button
It'll be
at
good for
second
experience,
strength.
and I do need to go back and play the old school
The Talus
RPGs as
for
well.
forces
Something
and
I've always
tectors
meant to
unleash
do. I've
techniques
heard so
like
many
the
people say
rod
so
and
many
wand
good
can,
things,
but
but it was
spreading the
just
Talus
a
to your
few
surrounding
years too
will
soon for
allow
me.
you to use a technique with
when they were
effects
released.
differently than usual.
All in all, it's just more of what I already like. The weapon types look good. The acrobatics in combat look great. The fields look really spacious with a lot of players on, at least in the segments we saw. And I love the huge ass monsters too. So once again, looks like a game I'll definitely want to play. Oh, given where I am right now, I might have to buy a new PC. I know I have to buy a new PC. My laptop here, I feel, could possibly handle the game. It's just not going to be top of the line. And generally, I play a lot of consoles versus PC, but I still like having a top of the line PC around for those games I do really want to play. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But anyway, what do you guys all think of Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis? How do you think it's shaping up? This is pretty good to me. But anyway, thank you for joining me for this game break, guys. I'll see you later.